Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel, AlgoWise. So in the last video, we discussed about Infosys quarterly results, the latest quarter, September quarter. So today we have Pratik with us and we'll be discussing the HDFC bank results. So Pratik, can we start?
Sure. Thank you, Kalyan. So first of all, before we discuss about the banking results, right, I just want to give you some context about how to read banking results. Banking results are normally different from other companies, right?
Okay.
The main reason is that when you think about a bank, you have different line items. One line item is interest earned, basically, which means that you have given the loans, and based on those loans, you are basically earning some income. That is basically interest earned. Now there is a gross interest earned and there is a net interest earned, which basically means that, let's say you go to the bank, you keep a deposit. On that deposit, the bank will have to pay back some money to you. So they will have to pay deposit rates to you, and they will get the lending rate. So that is kind of the spread that they have.
Yeah,
So
correct.
whatever net income that they get from this spread is called as net interest income.
Okay.
Right, so this is the net interest income. So when we talk about interest earned, I'm showing you the annual statement, right? This is the annual statement as of 31st of March. So over here you can see the interest earned, you can see the other income, then you can see the interest expended. So interest earned minus interest expended will basically be the net interest income
Correct. So
that we
the
have.
first line item is basically the gross interest earned.
Yes, exactly. Correct. Then you can see that there is another line called as other income, right? You might think, what is this other income? This is a substantial part of the bank's income for many banks. I mean, for HDFC, it may look little lower, but for many banks, it is one of the major component basically. So what is this other income? So banks are into the business of different things, right? One business is lending and borrowing and those kind of things. Second thing is also giving services to customers. For example, you are originating a loan, so you'll have a loan origination fee. Similarly, you are giving a credit card basically to the customer. So whenever customer spends, there will be some percentage that will go to the bank. Whoever is the
Correct.
issuer of the credit card will go to them. Then you will
Hmm.
give some swiping machine. Based on the swiping machines also, you will earn fees. So for many banks, actually, net interest income was negative for many years, last couple of years actually. They were only making money based on other income. But now, because interest rates have gone up, the net interest income has also come into positive for most of the banks.
Okay.
So there is one more component to look at, actually two more components. One is the operating expenses, which is like salaries as well as, let's say, some other things like uh, bank
Admin
branches and
expenses,
other
staff
operating
expenses,
expenses.
salaries, yeah, all those things, office maintenance.
Yes, exactly. And then there is something called as credit cost. Now, what is credit cost? Credit cost basically means that you can have two different credit costs. One is the provisions, which means that for future loans that goes bad, you can keep some amount as provisions in your balance sheet, which will basically mean that in future, if these loans go bad, you will take out these provisions from the income statement and you will expense it basically. So right now it is an expense, but it basically stays as a liability. It stays as an asset in the bank's balance sheet. But I'll not go into all those details, but you can just think about this as credit cost. Provision is a credit cost. Second is the charge off. So let's say you have given some loans and you are
Hmm.
not able to get back that money because the
Okay.
customer is default,
Okay.
and you have certain percentage that you are not able to recover. So that will go into charge offs. Basically, there will be charge offs. On top of charge offs, there can be some recoveries also. So these are all
Okay.
credit costs that the bank will incur. So with that context, I'll quickly give you an update on HDFC Bank's results for this quarter. If you look at this quarter, right, it is actually doing good. Basically, if you look at the interest earned and you look at the interest expended, you can see that interest earned went up substantially from last quarter. It's almost like a 10% increase that happened. Uh, Interest expended also went up substantially. Operating expenses, obviously, if interest earned is going up, operating expenses are supposed to go up. It has actually gone up. So employee cost has stayed relatively flat. Other operating expenses is where it has sort of gone up, right?
Okay.
So if you look at this, the comparison is sequential, means from last quarter,
Quarter to this
then
quarter.
this
Hmm.
quarter to last quarter, and then there is a comparison to the same quarter of last year. So 39 2022 and 39 2021.
Yes.
Okay. So as you can see, the profit or loss at PNL, basically, PNL has also gone up substantially from the last quarter and also from the last year. So
Mm.
from that perspective, you can see that the results are looking good. The net profit and loss for the period, that has also gone up substantially. Even if you look at it from the uh,
Last year,
from
same
1 year
quarter.
back,
Mm.
yes, yes. Then also you can see that there is substantial growth that has happened. You can see that the EPS is also at around 19.07. This is compared to 15.97 last year and 16.57 last quarter. So we are making some improvement, and the higher interest rates are actually helping the bank. But at some point of time, if the interest rates keep going up and it starts hurting the business, then the loan growth may get impacted. That is the only problem. But at this point of time, the interest rate increases, whatever has happened, has only helped the bank. And there is also one thing that you need to check, basically, because I talked about provisions, right? What is the kind of provisions that we have? The provisions have not gone up substantially. If you see from last year, it was
It has
392,
decreased
now it is
actually. Yeah.
320. It has decreased. Yeah. So the costs are decreasing because the bank is thinking that we are not going to incur a lot of credit cost, which is also generally positive for the bank, right? And there are some ratios like NPA means non-performing assets. It is related to, let's say, provisions. I mean, if the NPAs are going down, you'll probably provision less as well. So you can see that the net NPA, the gross NPA has gone down from 1.35 to 1.28 to 1.23. Even the net NPA has gone down from 0.4 to 0.35 to 0.33. It is one of the very good quality asset that HDFC Bank has. I mean, it is probably one of the best out of all the Indian banks from the perspective of net NPA and gross NPA.
Okay.
So
Because this
generally, you can,
actually has got a lot of meaning, right? Because when we are talking about some non-performing assets, mainly there might be retail individual customers, or there may be some, HNIs, or maybe some companies, corporates who have taken loan, and they have not returned back even the principal, so leave apart the interest.
yes,
So that actually impacts the bank and the economy as a whole.
yes, yes, exactly. And HDFC Bank is basically held for that they are always having good asset quality among all banks. And even if you look at the overall trend, the trend is also quite good. So the NPAs are going down, non-performing assets are going down. So that is why provisions are also coming down and net profit is sort of going up. But there is an economic cycle. We have to understand that from the banking perspective. When the economic cycle is good, then the banks always perform better. If the economic cycle turns and NPAs again starts going up and the provisions start going up, then the net profit of the bank comes down. So that is the reason why the banks are normally looked at from this perspective. What is the gross NPA? What is the net NPA? What is the book to, what is the book value of the total assets that we have in the bank? So whatever is the total value of assets, asset means loans, mostly loans for the bank. It is not
Mhm.
like banks will go and buy property. Banks will provide loans to people, basically. So that will be the asset for HDFC Bank. So
Okay.
if you generally look at HDFC Bank, right, it has got good EPS, it has got a relatively stable PE ratio, even from a historical perspective. From forward-looking perspective, the PE ratio is looking even better. So I would say that if HDFC Bank comes down this week, because the global markets have been pretty volatile, because of that there is a possibility of it coming down. If it comes down this week, then definitely it's a good buy. And even if it doesn't come down, it is not looking bad to buy generally.
Okay. So, what was the impact just after the results were announced, quarterly results
But
were announced?
it was announced in the weekend. It was announced in the weekend, so
Okay,
that is why
okay.
the
So
impact
we'll
will
have
be
a
felt only on Monday.
okay only on Monday. Okay, okay, got it, got it. Hmm.
Yes, yes. So
Okay,
I think that's it for HDFC Bank as a whole, or general things about the banking sector. But we can
okay.
discuss in detail further later.
Sure, sure, sure. So I think this was good. So we'll keep the quarterly results videos precise, and then also we also need an outlook about the industry also. So this is good enough. So we'll stop this video here, and then maybe the next video we'll have another company, and we'll analyze the results, and we'll make another one. Yeah.
Sure, Kalyan.
Yeah, and also
Thank you.
one more thing, in the description box, I'll share the link of our previous IT major Infosys Limited, the quarterly results video which we had made last week. So that one also, I'll share the link. And also, I think the next video we'll just keep it as a surprise, and then once it's live, we'll share it directly. Fine, right?
Sure, Kalyan.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Thanks, Pratik, for joining.
All
Yeah. See
right.
you in the next
Thank
video.
you.
Bye.
Bye.